Hello everybody, Mark Dixon here, property casualty insurance agent here covering the state of Hawaii for Allstate Insurance. I wanted to break this video today to cover the top 5 things that you should ask your insurance agent, or the 5 things that customers ask us most frequently. So starting off with number 1, how much coverage do I actually need? Now it's important to remember when we're discussing these things that everybody's situation is different. Right? It's the job of the insurance agent or the insurance professional to talk to every single customer to find out exactly what their needs are, what their risks are, what kind of assets they have, and then determine how best to protect those assets. So the real short answer here is you do need to speak to an insurance professional, right? Because the insurance professional will be able to hear your side of the story. They know the products that they carry. They'll be able to let you know options on the best ways to protect those things. Now remember, in Hawaii, a lot of times people will buy homes. You see the average home price here is for a single family home is over $1 million. But they look at their coverage and their coverage is actually far lower than that, right? So remember that your insurance policy covers the dwelling, the structure, the home, doesn't cover the land underneath, which is very valuable in Hawaii. But again, find out from an insurance professional exactly what your coverages should look like when taking into consideration the assets that you have to protect. Question number 2, what does my policy cover or what does it not cover? All right, insurance policies are legal contracts and there are a lot of details to them. And while the state of Hawaii does have specific rules for homeowners type 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, etc., different companies' policies are structured with different variations. Now, the saying goes, the devil's in the details, right? So what you want to do, again, the recommendation is to talk to an insurance professional. You know, whether you're getting a quote now, whether you already have a policy, if you've inherited a policy from somebody else, talk to the insurance agent, talk to a licensed professional in their office, find out exactly what is covered and what's not covered. Now, generally, property policies work in 2 different ways. You can have what's called an all-peril policy with exclusions, or you can have a named peril policy. Now the difference real quick between those 2 things is an all peril policy is going to cover anything that can happen suddenly and accidentally, right? So as long as it happens all of a sudden and it doesn't happen on purpose, that should be covered unless specifically excluded from the policy. So very common here in Hawaii, a standard homeowner's policy will exclude hurricane coverage, which is why your mortgage lender will ask you to get hurricane coverage from a different insurance company, or certain insurance companies here in Hawaii have the ability to turn on a hurricane endorsement under their homeowner's policy. So homeowner's policy in that scenario would be all peril coverage with an excluded hurricane exclusion, right? The difference between that and a named peril type of coverage is named perils will list specifically what is covered, right? So if you don't see the type of peril on there, you can assume, well, you will know that your policy does not cover that, right? So make sure you get with an insurance professional. Again, there's a lot of technicalities, and an insurance policy is a legal document, so it's very plainly spelled out for you. Sometimes it is written in legalese, so it's best to talk to your insurance agent or your insurance professional to kind of get a real explanation in regular English on what is covered versus what's not covered. Insurance question number 3. This is a real popular one. Definitely every insurance professional gets asked this question. Hey, why did my rates go up? Right? Especially tacked onto, why did my rates go up when I didn't do anything? Well, insurance rates are determined by several factors. And some of those are things you can control as a customer. And some of the things are things that you cannot control. Right? So if you put a claim in, now maybe you couldn't control the thing that happened to you that caused you to put in the claim, but you could definitely determine if you wanted to file the claim or not. Right? So that's something you can control that can affect your rates moving forward. Now, there might be other weather events or global events affecting the economy. And in the case of the COVID-19 crisis, right, we had a shutdown of factories and manufacturing locations. So we had prices go up because of market fluctuation and market instability. We weren't, construction costs go up because we're not able to get materials, or materials have gotten more expensive. Well, insurance costs go up because basically we are trying to determine what it would cost to rebuild your house or replace your car. So as those things get more expensive, we got to add more coverage and your insurance costs go up. Anyway, that's just an example of a couple different factors that are in your control versus out of your control. Now, the important thing to do is to talk to an insurance professional, talk to an insurance agent, specifically go through your policy, make sure you're being rated correctly, make sure your house or apartment or condo is described correctly in the document. But also, the insurance professional can look for possible discounts. There may be other products that they can pivot you to that are priced a little bit better, that would provide the same protection. Again, I'm going to go back to this repeatedly. Talk to your insurance professional. Everybody's situation is different, but they can take the time, the insurance professional can take the time to look at your specific situation and then determine how they can best offer you the best rate. And if you can't get a hold of your professional or they won't meet with you, then it's time to look for another one. All right, be right back with number 4. All right, we're on to number 4. So the number 4 question we get asked all the time is, what is the difference between the policy or the quote that you sent me and the cheaper one I found online? Well, the devil is, again, often in the details, and insurance policies from company to company, or even within the same company, if that company has different offerings of products, can vary. Again, important to meet with an insurance professional who can take a look at the 2 quotes side by side and really let you know how they compare. I'll give you a quick example. Some auto policies you find online do not have what's called permissive driver extension of coverage. And that basically means is if I own the car and I own the insurance policy, if I hand my keys to my friend and say, hey, yeah, you can use it to go to the store. If they get in an accident because I've given my permission to use their vehicle, they would be covered. Right? Some policies you buy online do not have the permissive driver extension of coverage included. Right? So that's important to find out from the insurance professional you're working with. Does this policy match up with this policy? Right? Because if they're both the same, providing the same coverage, but this one is way less, oh, then maybe you want to go toward that one. But if they don't match up, you want to know exactly what you're not covered for or what the lower cost policy is not offering. Right. The other thing to keep in mind is if you go online or you deal with a 1-800 number, you may not get the same level of service that you would get in dealing with an insurance professional based in your home state. Insurance professionals online can be covering multiple states, up to 20, 25 states at a time. You also may get somebody different every time you call, right? So it's important to have accountability. It's important to have somebody who is licensed and extremely familiar with the situations in your state. So again, talk to an insurance professional. If you don't have one, give us a call. Happy to answer any questions. Happy to meet with you. Happy to help out. Be right back with number 5. All right, 5th question we get asked all the time. If I ever have to file a claim, how does that work? All right, so you buy insurance for peace of mind. Hopefully you never have to use it. This is a joke I make all the time when I talk to new customers. I hope I don't have to talk to you again or have to talk to you too much. Because that would mean something bad's happened. But the event that a claimable event does occur, there are usually several different ways to start your claim, right? You can call into your insurance professional's office, call into your agent's office. Most insurance companies have a 24/7 1-800 number that can help you file a claim when that office is closed. You can go online, right? Some insurance companies now have an app where you can start a claim online with the app. However you start the claim, I would encourage, if at all possible, to talk to your insurance professional before starting the claim. They may advise you that it's not worth starting the claim, right? So if you have a $1,000 deductible on your homeowner's policy, also covering your personal property, and you have a skateboard stolen out of your front yard, that's not going to meet the $1,000 deductible, and your insurance professional will be able to tell you that this is probably not the best use of your time, and we won't be able to file the claim anyway. Or we could look at a scenario where you did have something stolen out of your front yard and say it was worth $1,010. Well, insurance professional probably advise you, do you really want to put a mark on your policy to get a $10 check back, right? Repayment amount is $1,010, your deductible is $1,000, you're gonna get $10 back. So in this case, probably not worth filing a claim. If you're not able to reach your insurance professional, again, there are other ways to file a claim, but your insurance professional should be able to guide you through the process, starting with whether or not it makes sense to file a claim, and then leading you through the entire way, right? So if things start to go sideways, or if there's something you don't understand, that's where your insurance agent, your insurance professional can jump back in, explain to you what's going on, help you understand the process, and really earn the commissions that we get paid for managing your policy. All right, that's been the 5 questions that we get asked all the time as insurance professionals here in Hawaii. Again, if you don't have an insurance agent, give us a call here at Allstate. Numbers on the screen. You can look me up online. I'm at www.oahuautoinsurance.com. We'll also list that on the screen. Happy to talk to you, whether you're a customer, whether you're shopping. If you have an agent and they're not getting back to you, give me a ring. I love to talk to people about their problems, kind of educate them on the whole process. Right? Insurance can be confusing, it can be frustrating, and it can be incredibly complicated, but we're here to help you out. Thanks so much for watching the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.